Wargaming question of the day. And I can ask this question. It's going to relate to Warhammer 40,000, but that's just kind of the platform. It can certainly apply to any type of gaming system. And more than enough time has passed, or not that we're ever going to name any names, but more than enough time has passed that just it's lost to the mists of time. It's just buried in those data cores and stacks on Holy Terra. And not even the Inquisition at this point knows the truth. So what do you think of this situation? How would you feel if you found yourself in this situation? You're playing Warhammer 40K. And this is a couple of editions back, so the actual rules and armies are a little bit different, but that really doesn't matter. You're playing a mission where it comes down to kill points. Essentially, you destroy one of my units, you get a point. You get one victory point, one battle point, one kill point, whatever we're going to call it. It doesn't matter if you kill a Land Raider or a Rhino or a Land Speeder. I'm playing Space Marines. It's all worth 1 point. Or if you take out that massive, super killy Mordrak Bomb Grey Knights, you got 1 point. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most battle points, victory points, wins on there. Okay. The mission's straightforward with that. I don't know if I fully agree or have always agreed, but you go into the mission knowing how you want to build your list and how you want to play. So you're going up against someone that is playing an army, transport heavy, open top, light transport heavy. So you're not going up against like a 3-4 Land Raider list. They've got 5, 6, 7. I think they had 9 or 10 at the time armor value. Armor value 10, open top, light vehicles. So they're going down to essentially bolter fire on there. So you go into a kill point mission and you're saying, wow, I'm just going to rack up the kill points like crazy. So, the smart thing to do or a consideration in facing this army, I would take all of my transports on there, all of my trucks, get the boys out and put them on foot. So at least they're big mobs on there and just hide those kill point vehicles. Just keep them like hidden in the back on there. And tactically, that's within the rules. You could do that. But instead, I rush them all forward. And you just literally spend the entire game. Now, you're fighting other units that I have, but you're spending the game popping 2 or 3 transports light vehicles a turn. We finish up the game. You count up the kill points. And you were playing Ultras. I killed 4 of your units, and you count it up, and you're like, I've got 16 kill points on there. But then, no, actually, you don't have 16 kill points because in this club, in this tournament, we have a house rule for this mission, for 40K, where vehicles don't count as kill points. They don't. Dedicated transports don't count on there. So actually, you've got 3 kill points, and I've got my 4 or 6 or whatever the heck I said. I win. Congratulations. How would you feel about that? So this gets into the idea of house rules and what you think about them. Now, my personal take on house rules, and this is just my opinion, this is how I prefer to play, but I realize when I go to another club, I'm a guest there, and I'm representing, and I want to put the best foot forward. But personally, I don't like house rules. I don't like any modifications to the missions. I don't like any modifications to the rules. As with any weighty, meaty game system, hey, some things are good, some things not so good. On there, I take the good with the bad. If there's a mission or a particular interaction of rules that I don't really like for my army, well, we do the best we can. If it's Games Workshop, you just wait for the next edition in there. But it's this universal language, right? It's like, low Gothic. It allows us to play a game and have tactical expectations and have control over our army. Let's play the rules as they are. I'm not in favor of house rules. Side note, what I am in favor is before the game defining any type of terrain or clarifying anything in a list, having full transparency from that perspective. So we don't get into a situation with that. If there are house rules, and again, your house, your club, your group, right, we'll play there, make sure I know about them. There's a difference if you're going to a tournament and they're releasing the mission packet, and this goes both ways. If I'm going to play in a tournament, Yeah, I'd like to know the start time and when I have to be barely awake and what's going to go on and all that type of stuff. I'd like to know the rules in effect and how many rounds. I don't know if I want to know the missions ahead of time, simply because that will allow me to potentially tailor my army to certain things. It could go either way. Some tournaments will say, here's the missions in terms of full transparency. Others will hide it. Actually, now that we're talking about this, it probably is better to just release it. I take that back. It's better to release the rules, simply because, well, I'm thinking not everyone is potentially as honest as I am in approaching war games where I want to cultivate a fun game. If you hide the missions, there's always going to be some people that it might be leaked to and they might have an unfair advantage. Okay, realizing that, release the rules. But what I definitely want to see, release the missions. What I definitely want to know about, house rules ahead of time. Before I register, before I'm getting involved. So if you're going to modify, in this case, house rule the transports, dedicated transports, things like that, or another one involved HQ choices, not counting for various things at the time for victory points. Look, I got to go way back, so we're not naming any names. I'd like to know about that ahead of time. Your thoughts on that? Do you house, and again, no criticism of the meta, do you play with massive house rules? Do you enforce those house rules in a tournament, or if when new members come into your club or your group to say, look, this is just kind of how we play and what we do, and then how do you handle or enforce the interpretation of those house rules on there from the 40K perspective, but again, honestly, really from any wargaming perspective?